Welcome to Empathy Led, a show about empathetic leaders, organizations, and brands, and for people like you who want to infuse a great dose of empathy into their personal and professional lives. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe this episode so others can find us. This episode, we will talk about image perception gap, an idea that is central to our empathy-led branding framework. Stay tuned for this episode. A brand has two dimensions, image and perception. Image is the way you understand your brand, is the essence of your company, is how you see and understand who you are, why you exist, and what you do. Perception is how others see you. It's how they understand the story you're trying to tell the world. It's how you are actually perceived. It's your reputation. But there's a gap between image and perception. And our job as brand strategists, as brand and marketers, is to close the gap between image and perception. Branding, in a way, is the art and science of bridging the gap that exists between how we see and understand our brands and how others actually see and understand them. Because great brands are ones that have achieved that level of alignment. But closing the image perception gap isn't easy for at least two reasons. The first reason is that even within our organizations, the idea of who we are as a brand, the idea of the essence of our company and our organization isn't always clear even to us. At times, it lives in the head of the founders and it hasn't found expression into the outer world. It hasn't found expression within the organization in a way that can be captured, in a way that can be harnessed, to be used deliberately and intentionally. The second reason why closing this gap is difficult is that we don't own perception. People have no direct access to our image, to who we are, to the essence of our brand. So they stitch together partial information at different touch points to create a coherent story about us. And that process of forming a perception is something that we do not own. All we can do is manage it and shape it and influence it. We don't own perception as much as an artist or a filmmaker or a book writer does not own the interpretation of their work. So it naturally makes this process of bridging the image perception gap very complicated. At Grio, our mission is to help companies find their soul. And at the core of it is this idea of helping them harness and understand the very essence of who they are as an organization and as a brand. And then enables them to deploy enough empathy to understand how people shape perception, understand the level of pattern recognition, understand how to create and tell a coherent story at every single touch point. Because great brands understand that everything that they say and everything they do is a cumulative expression of their brand. And without a sense of clarity about who you are, a sense of clarity about the story you're trying to tell the world and the contribution you're trying to make, it becomes almost impossible for us to shape the perception that we want others to have. So our work really starts with this level of really self-awareness about who the company is and a clear understanding about who it is that we're trying to serve and understanding about how they form perception, how they gather information, and how to implant an idea and tell a coherent story. I hope you find this insightful and helpful. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe so other people can find us. And this is also available on all your favorite podcast platforms. To learn more about Grio and our empathy-led methodology, visit grioagency.com. Thank you again. See you on the next episode.